Here's something incredibly ironic. One of the only things Donald Trump actually believes and has believed for a really long time may wind up being the thing that dooms him and Republicans politically. All right, let me explain. So, Donald Trump is not terribly consistent about his belief system. He's been a Democrat, he's been an independent, he's now obviously the Republican president of the United States. He was pro-abortion rights, he's now against them. He has had a variety of views on the debt and the deficit and other cultural issues. And I mean, he's been all over the map on almost everything except one thing: tariffs. Yes, as I explained in a previous video, those economic levers that can be used by a president in a country to try to get money into the federal government, as well as punish companies doing business overseas. Trump believes in these things deeply. He did when he was a businessman in the 80s. He did when he was a public figure in the 90s and 2000s. He does as president of the United States. He has said tariff may be the most beautiful word in the dictionary. I think he's now said it's behind God and love, so maybe the third most beautiful word in the dictionary. But regardless, he has said it's one of the most beautiful words in the dictionary. His belief is that it's a really good negotiating tool, in that if you say to a country, we're going to put tariffs on your goods that you're bringing into the U.S., they will come to the bargaining table because the U.S. is such a big buyer of goods. He believes it's a way, as I said, to sort of add revenue to a country's treasury. We get the tariff, we put it into the revenues. And he believes that it works, that while it might cause some short-term pain, medium, and long-term, it will work. It will benefit the United States. He has been committed to this for decades, and he appears to be committed to it despite the fact that tariffs right now, as people sort of start to understand what they are and what they do. And again, if you don't understand that, go watch the video I made 2 weeks ago. But people are starting to say, like, ooh, wait a minute. So what's fascinating is that the stock market is up and down, but clearly on the downside of late, right? There's no question it's been trending downwards as the uncertainty over, are we keeping tariffs on Mexico, China, and Japan? Are we taking them off? How long are they going to last? Are they going to be on everything? Are they going to be on nothing? We have the reciprocal tariffs that Donald Trump is threatening. Any country that tariffs any product we send to them, we are going to tariff any product they send to us. Those are set to go into effect in early April. I mean, that will be a massive, massive change. He continues to sort of march down the road of tariffs are good and we're going to keep doing them. And yes, there's a little bit of short-term pain, but it's going to work out. And yet he is doing that in the face of evidence that the stock market doesn't like it. Businesses don't like uncertainty. They don't know exactly what they're going to get. And that has created kind of a doom loop to the consumer, to the average person, who is basically like, maybe the economy isn't as good. Maybe I don't trust Donald Trump as much as I once did on the economy. So I want to get into all of that and why it's an immovable force and an unstoppable object soon. But first, I want to ask you to subscribe to this channel. So I make videos every day. I do a live stream every single Friday. I'm making political content from an independent, nonpartisan, authentic, and transparent point of view. I worked at the Washington Post. I worked at CNN. Now I work for myself, calling balls and strikes no matter what the uniform the batter at the plate is wearing. That's me. I hope you subscribe. So here's what's interesting. On the one hand, you have Donald Trump's unshakable belief that tariffs are good, that they work. They will work. We need more of them. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump's desire to be, like all politicians, but more so than all politicians, well-liked and popular. These two things are coming into direct combat because most economists, and Donald Trump isn't an economist, but most economists will tell you tariffs don't work. That they, in the long run, they spark, in the medium and long run, they spark trade wars. Trade wars wind up being a loser for both sides. The American public doesn't love this situation right now. So Trump, one interesting thing about Trump is he always had, even when he was not popular, he always, in his first term, which was most of his first term, he always had pretty good ratings on handling the economy. People liked the idea he was a businessman. They liked the idea that He kind of like thought of things from a business perspective. He was tough. He was a good negotiator, et cetera, et cetera. This term, and we're only 2 months in, but this term, his handling of the economy numbers are deeply negative already. They're worse than they were at any point in his first term, even though overall he started much more popular in his second term than he did in his first term. So that will worry Donald Trump. The lack of popularity in polling and the stock market being down, and he cares deeply about how the stock market does. He views it as kind of the ultimate poll. Those two things are not things he likes. He does not like being unpopular or being regarded as not popular, right? And yet, the thing that is driving more than anything else, the thing that is driving that economic confidence downward, the overall popularity downward, is the thing that he actually believes in, right? A guy who believes in almost nothing from a policy perspective, he actually cares about this issue and has a core belief that tariffs work. So, immovable object, unstoppable force, right? Like something has to give here. If Trump sticks with his plan on tariffs, particularly these reciprocal tariffs that are set to go into effect on April 2nd, it will continue to drive uncertainty, to drive pessimism, to drive a lack of confidence, both among sort of the stock market crowd, corporate America, as well as the average American. That will hurt Donald Trump and the Republican Party when it comes to sort of how people perceive them and their ability to handle the economy, okay? And more broadly, the government. That is a thing Donald Trump doesn't want. But how far is he willing to push? That, to me, is the sort of fundamental question as we go, not just this week, next week when the reciprocal tariffs are supposed to kick in, the week after that, and if they do kick in, what the effects are on the stock market and et cetera. That, to me, is the fundamental question here. It's like, for a guy who has so few real beliefs, for a guy who has been flexible on almost everything, right? Who's been willing to change his positions on almost everything to get on the right side of the public. This is an issue where he's on the wrong side of the public that he actually believes in. And that, to me, is the question. How far will he push his belief when it comes to his political popularity and the sort of political viability of his party? Is he willing to push tariffs for months, even if it tanks the stock market, even if it tanks his and the Republican Party's popularity? Is he playing the long game that he's got 4 years to prove that he's right? Of course, the Republican Party only has 2 years because they will be up in the midterm elections. And if the economy is bad and Trump is unpopular, they are going to lose big time. Is he willing to do that? Is he willing to put it on the line for his beliefs? A president who puts it on the line for his beliefs less than any modern president, is Donald Trump going to do that in this case? That, to me, critical question as we go forward. How much does he believe in this? And how far is he willing to push amid a clear sign from the public and the stock market that they do not like the direction he's pushing? All right, that's it for today. I'm back. By the way, if you missed me, I was on spring break. Sorry, but I'm back, fully healthy, ready to go. Videos every day. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like this video. It's easy. Give it the thumbs up. Comment on this video. It's easy. Type a little thing in. Do it for the algorithm. I need more people to see my stuff. I need to grow this channel. Help me out doing that. Last thing, easy. Word of mouth. Tell a person or 2 or 10 or 50, if you have that many friends, about what I'm doing here, why independent journalism is important, why it's important to hear from a perspective that does not favor one side or the other, that is aiming at trying to analyze what is happening in politics without fear or favor. That's me. That's why I hope you subscribe. That's why I hope you tell people about this channel. I will see you tomorrow.